Hey everyone, Ivy League Gaming here, and today we're playing Raid Shadow Legends, and I'm joined by Nub Raids. Welcome, Nub.
Hello, thank you very much for having me on the channel. I'm excited to talk some HYDRA.
Yes, it's nice to have you back. It's our second collab. And after the faction games, we both were people that actually like Hydra. So I feel like
True.
this had to be something that had to happen. It was a long time coming. We had to talk Hydra together now.
Yeah, I had to forgive you for absolutely demolishing us in that HYDRA
Sorry.
competition. So, you know, to lick my wounds.
Yeah, but everything is so RNG too. It's hard. Like one bad run and you're just like, God damn it.
True, can be. But let's talk about today, I guess, countering some of that RNG. The
Exactly.
right
So
choice of channel.
today, yeah, we're going to talk about a couple different things to counter that are a little bit of, I guess, newer strategies compared to when Hydra first came out. So for my channel, we're going to talk mischief targeting. And for his, after this is going to be a two-part collab, guys, make sure you head over to his channel. We're going to be talking provokers for dealing with the Head of Decay. So, first up, I think we should just start with, faction games. Let's just start here, right?
Fair enough.
Fair enough, right? We're talking faction games, having a giggle, all good fun. And Bevald was someone I really didn't think about much before the faction games. I knew he provoked, but then and I remember when he came out, the first thing I said was, "Oh, this must be what's going to happen with Hydra," because it was a weird kit, right? The
Yeah.
lands through a weak hit. So he has two provokes, one on his A1 and one on his A2, and all of the provoke and the leech both land through a weak hit. So that means you can hit even through Poison Cloud. Did you have any experience using him, like recently or before?
Yeah, I actually use him a lot. Now, I don't actually at the moment have him built as a mischief tanker, but I use
Oh,
him, I often use him as the lead spot with like an Inquisitor Shamael team to just spam the provokes and healing, because he does a ton of healing through his kit. It was actually a viewer that suggested the team variation to me. So I run
okay.
him alongside like an Ursula the Mourner, because she gives you that decreased attack AoE, she gives you the increased defense and shielding, revive. She doesn't have any healing though, but the two of them together work really well because you get all the provokes from Bevald, all the healing, the leeches, and then she can pick people up if they go down, and she mitigates the damage. And it's actually enough support to to completely sustain like a brutal
Nice.
Hydra team. So yeah, that's the thing I really like about him is it's just he does a few specific things. Like you said, it's a bit of a weird kit, but the things that he does are all actually really, really strong. They're all very useful for Hydra.
Yeah, no, actually, I realized before I go into this even more, I didn't really explain what we're even talking about very well, did I? Mischief targeting for dealing with the head. Targeting for the Head of Mischief. Head of Mischief steals your buffs. So if you can have one person that has the most buffs up at all times compared to the rest of your team, you're always going to target that one person. That means you can build one person with high resist instead of the whole team with high resist. So it's just a really helpful strategy for dealing with the Head of Mischief. In this case, the reason Bevald is a good one is because of this strengthen buff on his A2. You also can put him in a blood shield ring just for another chance to make sure that he has another extra buff up, but the reason he's one is he puts strengthen on himself, so it's just an extra buff that he'll have that other people may not have.
Or like the other thing with mischief tanking as well is it doesn't just steal your buffs; it steals turn meter too,
That's
which obviously
true.
messes up your team, and then it also starts counting down that devour timer faster. So it's one of the things people often find frustrating is mischief is stealing so much turn meter, getting so many turns that he's always the one to eat you because he's moving so quickly.
That's
He
very
always is the one that
true.
devours. Then he steals more turn meter and then he consumes them really quickly. So it's just this really awful snowball effect with the Head of Mischief. Mischief Tank helps with that.
Yeah. And he's also the fastest one up for all the speeds of all the heads, so you kind of get
Yeah.
like it doesn't just adds on to it.
Yeah, but yeah, Bivald is great. He's really good. I mean, spoiler warning: I'm definitely going to be bringing him up
In
myself for
another
sure
topic?
in the provokers video. Yeah, because
Exactly.
he's so good.
And that's a key too here with talking about these people that are mischief targets. We want them to have more utility than just being, oh, they have more buffs. They need something else to make it really worth bringing them in. for HYDRA.
Yes.
Who's up on your list?
Okay, well, I will take the absolute obvious choice. I'll go with Krisk. I'm just gonna go down my list from the top to the bottom, and we'll see. But yeah, Krisk is my choice here. He can Mischief tank thanks to his A2, which puts out ally protection on your whole team, but then it puts 2 continuous heal buffs on Krisk himself. And then because he extends all those buffs, it actually gives him a really good coverage of the continuous heals. So it'll always have slightly more buffs than the others. But like you were saying, it's about the utility that these champions bring. That number one, Krisk is
everything.
Actually, yeah, he does everything. He's very consistent at Mischief tanking, but it's like ally protection. So bam, your team takes half damage, and he heals himself, so he's totally fine. He's got decreased speed, AoE A1. He has a provoke on his A3 that also does increased defense, increased speed. He's got the decreased defense, decreased attack passive. He just does everything. It makes it so much easier. You know, you look at any of the top teams on like Nightmare HYDRA, even Brutal HYDRA, and it's just every team's Krisk, because he does so much.
And every team that is auto that I've seen has a Krisk. Like I've seen some auto Nightmare teams, which is crazy, but they all have Krisk. That's for sure.
Yes.
So I'm gonna actually, I'm gonna stay in the same faction.
Aha. I think I know where you're going with this one.
I think, wait, yeah, my brain just froze for a second. Yes. Skorid Bargalis, who I use for my Nightmare HYDRA key. He, again, another cat topic as well with provoking. But same thing, just like Bevald, they have like the same A2. They place provoke and they put strengthen up. So that's just another buff. I use him as my mischief target, and I actually make him really fast too. That's part of the other conversation, I guess. But he's got a lot of utility because he also has decreased attack AoE. And of course, the provokes and whatnot as well.
Yeah, he's incredible. I think for like mischief tanking alone, he's definitely better than Bevald is because he has the 2-turn strengthen on a 2-turn cooldown. So
yes,
it's like it's up all the time. There's no downtime. And like you said, you can have him then run really fast, and you don't need to worry about buffs falling off and all the rest. And then I'm in the way of it, but one of the best things about him, he's got like the most insane base stats in the game. Like this guy, it's not even funny. It's like he's almost at the top of every stat.
Oh yeah, look at that. HP and defense is solid. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the resist accuracy.
Yeah, the resist. I didn't even notice his base resist was that good.
He makes the dwarves look weak, yeah.
That's true. Tanky ass dwarves.
Yeah, but yeah, no, Skullord, he's amazing. He was my number 2 as well. He was right up there. Yeah, I think he's incredible.
All right, who else you got?
Okay, so I guess this one is a little bit of a spicier one, and it's harder to use, but it's very strong if you can make it work. So it's actually Inquisitor Shamael from the Sacred Order.
Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah, so this is one that I have used, and this is where you need like a very specific build. So he needs to be pretty slow for this one. And he needs a blood shield accessory. And the reason being, with a blood shield accessory, whenever you do any damage, you get a shield equal to a portion of the damage that you deal. And it doesn't matter how small that damage is. You just need the tiniest sliver of a shield. And if you don't have any other shield buffs on your team, that's an extra buff, which lets you mischief tank. And he counterattacks whenever anyone on the team gets a debuff. So he actually counterattacks a lot. It really slows down your run.
So it allows him to have a shield up more often than just putting a blood shield on other people, you're saying. It actually works.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's going to have a blood shield, tiny little blood shield on himself just constantly. And then if you make him really slow as well, because he doesn't need to be fast, then he can sort of keep all the buffs on, whereas the buffs are going to be falling off other people, going on, falling off.
Smart.
He'll always have all the buffs up. Because you just need him to sit there and do his passive, basically, right? He just needs to remove the fear and turn meter boost. So it's kind of a nice thing. You get that 2-for-1. You get, okay, this deals the Head of Torment. It's going to cleanse all the fears and just turn it into an advantage for us. And then it's also going to be pretty consistent, not 100%, but pretty damn consistent at tanking Head of Mischief. You can even do it 3-for-1 if you got good enough gear. Slap him in like a Guardian set or something at really high HP. And it's like, okay, and he's also going to reduce the damage for the team as well. So you could do several jobs.
Yeah, I actually use him in a taunting set.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because it's just another way to make sure that the provoke is staying on the Head of Decay as well. And he hits, like you said, he hits so often. Plus, it's just one of my insurances for just someone else to be, able to
I like it.
land it. I think I did like a damage taunting.
Yeah, no, that works. That absolutely. If you build him for damage, the dude absolutely smacks. I think especially the single target damage dealers with Mithrala now, or any Hex champion, become really good. I think he'd be very strong as a full damage dealer. Like he's bring in taunting as well with Mithrala. Yeah, it could be insane.
Let's see. Okay, so my next one, oh boy, which one do I actually... So I use a couple people. Lord Champfort, I'm going to call out. He was probably the first one I started using as a Mischief tank out of everyone. Just a simple shield as well, too. It's just, he places his shields equal to, let's see, at the start of each turn. For 2 turns, he places a shield. So you have to be careful who you pair him with, or make sure nobody else has like blood shield rings, because it's just a shield at the end of the day. But as long as you're not throwing him with like a Duchess or a Madam or anyone with blood shield, you're good to go.
Yeah.
But he has also more utility, of course, with decreased accuracy, decreased attack, and then a decreased defense on the A1. So I really like him.
Yeah, he's a solid one. I actually have him built. I haven't got around to testing him yet. But yeah, he's really good. Like the decreased accuracy, I really like having that so consistent. It's 100%. That's so useful, right? Stopping those provokes, stopping the poisons, at least mitigating a lot of them. That helps a ton. It also makes it you can have slightly lower resistance on him and get away with it, because he puts the decreased accuracy out on Mischief, and you're like, okay, that brings it up to that max chance to resist. All right, we're good. We're good. Yeah, he's definitely a good option.
What about your next?
I gotta pick my probably personal favorite, which is Aboro. Aboro and the Shadowkin. I love Aboro.
She's put mine to 60, but I haven't done it yet.
She's so good. So the thing that makes her so good is that it's so easy. It's so clean. Increased crit rate, increased crit damage, perfect veil. Then with her passive, she does revive on death whenever she gets perfect veil. It's 4 buffs, 4 extra buffs.
That's true.
So, like, you can even bring it. You're like, you know what? We'll bring in a perfect veil champ. We'll bring in like a Duchess or a Rector Drath. It's all good. We've got 3 extra buffs. You could even bring in, I don't know. You could bring in whatever. You could bring in revive on death, and you're still good. You could have like a Mother Cybele or something. We're still good. We got 2 extra buffs. It's so many buffs. So she's so consistent at actually tanking Mischief, and like the revive on death in particular is for 3 turns. So that's very safe because she has the 3-turn cooldown on the perfect veil for herself. Or you can always put her with like Ragash, and that's a really nice combo too, because he'll veil whoever's the highest attack whenever he takes a turn. So then she gets a veil. She gets fun stuff like that. But yeah, she just slams. Like you can build her for damage easily enough because she's the bonus crit rate. She can have lower crit rate, easy to build, really consistent, and she puts out some pretty good damage. And then the scalability is there as well. I think you put her in with something like a Valkyrie, which is going to compensate for her lower defensive stats, give her a big old shield, and counterattack. Her A1 can AoE whenever there's debuffs on the target. And that's much stronger now that we have got the ability to provoke decay and prevent the cleanses. So she can just start slamming out those counterattacks, doing really good damage. She's also very good now with Mithrala. Again, any Hex champion, she starts hitting like with her A3 on a decapitated head. It does a lot of damage to the Hex. And then if you are willing to play some manual stuff, she can come in and use her A2. I usually turn her A2 off in the AI. And then I'm like, oh, okay. I wasn't paying attention. Head of Wrath popped all this stuff. He's got 1 million buffs. He's going to kill us. It's like, throw her in with the A2. Let's just steal all those buffs. Okay,
stealing. Yeah, that's really useful.
Yeah. So
especially if something gets like someone gets eaten, that's like someone else. It's like I guess in this case she would be the Mischief target. So if she gets eaten, we're all screwed. No.
yeah. But... that's one slight problem I've run into is that I've built mine with really high damage, so she does get eaten first often because I have her with a really high crit damage. But it's like, you know what? Let's just hope that everything lines up well. She gets eaten first. We break her free, and then it's like, okay, we don't need to worry about her being eaten for a while. The Mischief tank is good. But it's you do have to reset sometimes because of that. I I didn't think about that when I initially built her, but yeah, no, she's great. She looks
It's true,
awesome
though.
too. She's got that
And
hat.
like this is an interesting one too. Like she needs to place decreased defense. She needs to be under a lot of debuffs, but that could pair well with someone like a Cantra that's just throwing debuffs left and right.
Oh yeah.
And you want a lot of debuffs with Cantra too because of her provoke. So like that's kind of like thinking about who you pair her with is important though, because her decreased defense, being an AOE, is only if there's a lot of debuffs. So.
Yep.
She's really good. Someday I'll finish building her and try her out.
Yeah, she's so much fun. She's just a badass ninja.
Let's see here. The other one that I'm currently using as a mischief target out of my 3 is Coronar.
Yo,
So
he's next on my list.
beast. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Go on. I haven't got to ever play with him before. I've never had a chance to use him, so for me, it's purely theoretical. I'm curious to hear how it actually works out.
I feel like I actually used Coronar in a taunting set for the provoking and stuff, of course, too. And then I can't, honestly, I feel like for my team, I don't actually use him as a mischief target, even though he can be. I think I just use him for the provoking and damage. But he does make a great mischief target here with the extra buffs that he places on himself on his A2. But again, talking about utility, he also brings provoke. He also brings decreased attack and decreased defense. Like he brings more to the table than just being a mischief target. So I think he's solid. He's a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's really high up on my list of provokers as well with the taunting set and that passive. So he just counterattacks all the time. So yeah, I think that's really, really powerful. I think he's super underrated. I can understand why, because he's a Void legendary. A lot of people don't have him. Like Krisk obviously gets a good bit of attention because Krisk is like the best champ for HYDRA probably overall. So everyone knows about Krisk, but then a lot of the other Void legendaries is kind of like, they get a little bit forgotten about because you're so lucky to get one of them. But yeah, he is Coronar's badass. He's really, really good.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I'm really glad I started using him. And the taunting set I have him in a taunting set, and then I tried him with ally attack champions, so he AoE has just another chance to keep the provoke up too. So that's they're gonna have lots of double dipping in these conversations because some of these people have really good utility. Not a bad thing.
Yeah. Nope. All right. My one then, next on my list is another double dip. She's going to be on both lists. And this is a new one that I hadn't thought about. And someone said it to me. She's in the dwarves and it's Molly. I don't know if that was what you were expecting.
No, actually I was thinking of someone else right in that lane, but what does she put on herself?
So on her A2, her provoke, it puts reflect damage on herself.
Oh, yeah, it's just her.
For 2 turns. Just on her.
That's only...
Which is weird, but yeah, I've totally seen people using her for this, and I was like, you know what? I never thought about it, but it makes total sense, right? Because she has a chance to provoke for 2 turns. That's really nice. 1 turn is okay. You're gonna need another provoker, but there you go. It's a bit of provoke, and then her passive gives you 25% turn meter fill for your team whenever she's hit by a boss.
That's true.
15% in arena, but for a boss, 25%. So she brings a ton of utility then. She's a decent provoke, reflect damage. Almost no one's going to be using reflect damage. That's a safe extra buff. She has, as you're showing there, a revive. So that covers your reviver. She's turn meter boosting your team. Her A1 does nothing. That's a nice move.
Well, yeah, if you had her built for damage, I guess.
yeah. The dreaded high damage Molly mischief tank. But I've actually seen, someone said it to me, and I was like, yeah, actually, that does make sense. I'd honestly completely forgotten about her. And then since they said it, I have seen a couple of people actually using her to really good success in keys. So I'm like, okay, this is one to look into. So Molly, again, it's purely theoretical. I don't have her or anything, but
I have one. I have 3 Mollys.
Oh, there you go. 1 for each HYDRA team.
Oh God. Oh man. And I think this is a hard one. There's so many. That I was surprised to find, and then kept realizing new ones that I would write down. I think I actually want to throw back to, again, the faction games, and someone you could have used as a mischief target, but you didn't.
Yeah, Mother Cybele.
Yeah, she's got. I don't actually use her A3 very often because of that, because I don't use her as a mischief target myself. I use her in my
Yes.
Nightmare Hydra team, but I don't use her as a mischief target, so I just completely avoid this skill. But there's
Yeah.
3 buffs that she throws up on herself. Like, it's really helpful, and so she'd be really easy to tune as a mischief target. Plus, of course, she has good utility with the A1, with decreased speed AoE, filling turn meter, and then Revive on Death, increased defense is great with the Head of Wrath out. Really helpful skill.
Yeah, she's exceptionally good. I really like her. I use her in quite a few of my teams as well. I do have her built with good resistance, but I'm usually pairing her with someone else. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like I use her A3 just every now and then, and she does tank mischief. But it's easy enough to mess it up and to time it wrong because she's got
Okay.
such good speed. Yeah, like because I have her built really fast, so it's really easy to be like, okay, I think she's gonna time to do our buffing up thing here. She does the buffs, and then she gets
They
another
wear
turn.
off.
The buffs fall off,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, that's not
That's
good.
true. That's a good point.
But it's an amazing supplement, and it can again she can swap HP with people, save them from heal reduction, the revive on death, decrease speed. She's got so much utility, an amazing speed aura as well. She's got a lot. It's really
No,
hard
yeah,
to use
yeah.
her
I have
passive though. Her
who
passives
heals her
when she
ally.
dies. It's
Oh,
hard to
yeah, that's
make her
true.
die.
Actually,
Her
I
base
use it
stats are
all the
so good.
time. That's how I
Oh,
use her.
really?
I
Oh,
have her in
right.
the lead, and she's in a Guardian set, so she dies a lot.
Ah, nice.
I have
Sneaky
her with
strategy.
Siffy to revive her fully, so I actually do take advantage of. Well, she dies. Oh well, it doesn't really hurt. It's fine. She could die.
I like that. I like that. Nice. All right. Well, I actually have only two champions left on my list. We've kind of between the two of us, we were sort of bouncing back and forth between them. Um, I'm gonna go to my new favorite that actually really impressed me. She was better than I thought she was gonna be, which is Wuji. She's the
Yep,
new Shadowkin
it's on
epic
my
for the
list.
fusion. Yeah, I like the comments I was getting when I did the video on her is you can slightly see it, I think, behind my head. Oh no, I just leaned the wrong way and I blocked it. There it is. She's got 10,000 base attack,
Oh my god, I
base
didn't realize how
HP.
bad. She's so
Yeah,
squishy.
she's like squishier than common champions. She's unbelievably squished. Now she's got good defense, but yeah, she's got no HP at all. So it is a little bit difficult to keep her alive. You really want to put her with a shielding champion, and then she's really good.
That's
So
fair.
in particular, yeah, I think Mithrala in particular stands out as a really good combo because Mithrala gives her the increased attack so she can hit hard. She gives her increased defense, shield, strength, and like all the defensive buffs to keep her alive. But yeah, she comes in, she has counterattack and was it Perfect Veil? Yeah, Perfect Veil
Yep.
on herself, which are just two amazing buffs. Like counterattack is pretty much the best buff for a mischief tank because guess what? They're the mischief tank. The fastest Hydra head is attacking it, that champion, every time it gets a turn. So she gets to counterattack all the time. And then her A1 is an AoE that applies weaken whenever she is counterattacking. So the amount of damage that she does is actually really, really good. Like she pumps out some pretty crazy damage just from all those counterattacks. And
It's true.
ally attack,
And
unfortunately, doesn't work properly, but yeah, it's
yeah,
still
it's
all the
true. Ally
counterattack.
attack,
It's
this
great.
doesn't turn into an AoE.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
But I mean, luckily the perfect veil mitigates damage to her, so it kind of makes up a little bit of that crappy HP, a little bit. But I actually did the
Yeah.
same. I used Wuji on the test server for a video, and I used her with Lana Tharl. It actually, again, like you said, a shield champion, and then yeah, it
Nice.
was quite helpful.
Yes. So if anyone has been unlucky enough to be trying to complete the Lanathril fusion and then has been lucky enough to get a second Wuji, they do combo very well together.
They do. Oh man, yeah. Me and Odd1 rage pulled for Kymar,
Oh, really?
and I got him a Lana Tharl, and he didn't even go for the fusion.
Oh, well, I mean, hey, it's good to have it. Are you going for the fusion?
No, I just got the Sacred Order, like, Anchorite, and that was it.
Yeah, same.
Let's see. Okay, I do have a couple more on my list, and there are some interesting ones. This champion might get brought up on your video again as well. But we're going to go with someone who gets vaulted immediately on most accounts. Jizzo. So, he actually, the only reason he's here is because of his multi-utility as a provoker as well. But this is an interesting way to use him. Not necessarily him being the mischief target, but he can decide who the mischief target is because he places shield and counterattack on anyone you want him to. So, like, you can choose someone else who maybe has better base stats to be the mischief target. He can make that happen. It doesn't have to be him being the mischief target. So it's a creative way to look at it.
Yeah, I really like him as like that free-to-play option with Drexstar. I think Drexstar is like the perfect champ to be a mischief tank.
Yeah.
That doesn't have the stealth buffs. So yeah, Jizzo comes in and is like, yo, go have that counterattack and start counterattacking all the heads when they hit you AoE. So now you can burn them with your passive and a chance on your A1. And yeah, then with mischief tanking, Drexstar gets bonus resistance at his passive. And he obviously brings provoke as well. He starts burning stuff. So it's it's a really, really nice free-to-play like combo. I've used that a decent amount, and it works really well actually. The 2-turn provoke that Jizzo can do is like, yes.
Yeah, and if you do want him to be the mischief target, he also has on that provoke the continuous heal too. So it's just another one there, but yeah, he was one I didn't think of until more recently. I think a couple people were talking about him, like, Jizzo, because I was talking about trying to use more budget-friendly things. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll use Jizzo. Oh man!
All right, I have one more on my list, and then my list is exhausted. We've covered all of them. So my final one is actually Lanicus, the Chosen, who brings in the ally attack. She's Dark Elf.
Where the heck is she? There she is. I don't have one. Haha, yes.
Yes. So the way that she works is her A1. Yeah, her A1 gives continuous heal when she crits, I think. So you do have to be careful with choosing the affinity that she's attacking, because you make her attack a red affinity Hydra head and everything falls apart.
Yeah.
But yeah, you put her in with that, and then you have to turn off her A3 because it has extra turn mechanic, which is going to ruin everything. So unfortunately, you can't really use that. The extra turn, she's going to outrun her buffs, and it's not a good time. But then she brings ally attack, not the best ally attack, but it does give you a big turn meter boost, and also extends all of your ally buffs by 1 turn. So that is just really helpful for keeping that buff coverage up. She gets to attack as well. She teams up, she joins in, so she'll use her A1. So yeah, she'll stay ahead just by keeping those continuous heals on herself. She turn meter boosts your team, kind of like a Seeker.
Nice.
And the ally buffs is helpful.
I actually have more people on my list, but I feel like there's one more I should mention just as another final nod to the faction games, actually.
Okay.
Let's give Hell Hades some credit for being creative with that mischief targeting.
Oh,
He used Candrafon as a mischief target, which could be great in a lower level Hydra, like hard or easy or normal, whatever the hell it is. He puts all this lovely veil and everything on himself, so depending on who you're using him with, it can be really helpful. He puts up so many buffs, so he's the damage dealer and a mischief target. If you have enough utility out of the rest of the champions and you could afford to do so, it's a fun option for someone that wants to give that a try.
Yeah, that was definitely the spicy strategy that works surprisingly well in the faction games. That I did not expect that to happen.
Me neither.
You made it work. Yep.
Of course, you would really hurt his damage if you had to put that much resistance on him. That's the downside, but it's possible. It's there.
No one expects the high resist Candrafon in arena. The ultimate ploy. Yeah.
I had to mention the funny one, because that's when in the faction games, that's what Hell Hades used for his demon spawn. He used Candrafon. We weren't expecting that. That was like, wait, what? Such a good funny toy.
100%.
I think that's a good funny way to end. Of course, there's a ton more, I'm sure. There's a lot of people that self-buff, but we're always trying to talk utility being, like I said, more than just one thing. Like, we want people with lots of utility for Hydra, or else you kind of don't have enough spots to fill all the needs. So I think we covered most of the bases. Oh wait, I did miss one. Quick nod. I can't miss him. Mashallah is amazing for Hydra. And he also self-buffs with some continuous heals. So that's another quick option. I almost forgot. He's so good for Hydra. Can't forget him.
Yeah, yeah, you could definitely do that utility build for sure. It's like it gives you increased speed and leech. It's really useful. And yeah, he's so fast. He's
He's
so
really
fast too.
good. I love using him. He's fun.
All right, cool.
I think we covered it then now for real. I'm like, wait, another one. Wait, another one.
What about Death Knight? No.
I know, right? Exactly. Kidding.
uh,
So I guess we will head on over to your channel and talk provokers for dealing with the annoying Head of Decay. I'm so glad they added that utility to the game because that was not
Yes.
fun. So, all right, guys,
Yeah,
thank
yeah.
you for watching. Thank you, Nub, for joining me again on the channel.
yeah, it's been so much fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to part 2 as well. Let's do
It's
it.
hard to find people that actually like Hydra these days, and I actually do kind of
know.
like it now. Not gonna lie, I do.
I like it too. Actually, I don't know if you think the same, but I am like 95% sure they're gonna add in, like, you know, the new awakening stuff. I am 95% sure they're gonna add like soul stones or something to the Hydra loot table. I
Oh,
think that's
dear.
gonna happen.
Yeah,
Like,
that makes
so
sense.
everyone's gonna have to do Hydra basically.
They did make it a wording that made it sound like something was going to be added, but they were very, like, kind of wishy-washy about it.
Yeah, yeah. It's complete speculation, but like for me, that's like it makes too much sense. So yeah, I think they're gonna do that. Luckily, the
That's
blessings
really
will make it
smart.
easier. But yeah, we'll
I
see.
hope so. Alrighty, guys, thank you for watching. Head on over to Nub's channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.